What's good, y'all? It's your boy Tavon Knows, and today we are gonna be doing something different. I'm gonna be bringing back an old trend. We're gonna be doing a mukbang. I got some Little Caesars pizza. Y'all already read the title though. Y'all already know what we're doing today. We're gonna be ranking Spider-Man movies. Now let me tell you why I decided to do this. So I was hungry, right? What time is it? It is 11:57 a.m. I still haven't ate. And I think I've been up since like 8 or 9-ish. So I was like, I'm hungry, bro. So what's gonna last me today? So I decided to get some pizza. And sometimes, y'all can relate to this. Sometimes we don't want to spend a lot of money. You feel me? And like everyone knows Little Caesars got the cheapest pizza. So I was like, you know what, bro, let me get something cheap. I got some Little Caesars. Next thing you know, so like I'm waiting on my pizza to come. And I'm like, let me see, what video do I want to do next? And I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Spider-Man Brand New Day is about to come out soon. So let's show some love to all the Spider-Man movies, right? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, it would be cool if I did like a Spider-Man pizza mukbang, blah, blah, blah. But at first I was like, nah, because mukbangs is not really a thing I do on the channel. I did do that one Popeyes video though, that everyone loved. But anyway, my pizza came, right? And as my pizza came, I just so happened to see this. Remind you, I did not know they was gonna do this. I just so happened to see this. I'm like, you got me. You got me. I have to do it now. I have to do it. So yeah, first mukbang on the channel. Your boy finna be ranking all the Spider-Man movies. We're doing all the major Spider-Man movies. And by major Spider-Man movies, I'm talking about Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield, plus Miles Morales movies. So any other Spider-Man movies outside of them four, they're not gonna be included in this video, okay? So first, let me show y'all the pizza. I got me the double stuffed crust pepperoni pizza. That shit look good, I know. And I got some garlic cheese breads with it and some pizza sauce. I did not know they sauce come in big ass cups like this. So your boy finna grub. And in case y'all wondering, no, I did not get my diet Dr. Kelp. Your boy just got some water, because water is good for you. Now, I didn't even get me no napkins. Hold on. Oh, all right. I got my napkins. Now, I don't got the list made already. Usually when I do my top 10s, I already have the list made, and I just tell y'all exactly the order of the top 10, obviously, because that's the whole point. But today, like, I wanted to do it different. I was like, you know what? Since this is a mukbang, right? The whole purpose is to talk and eat. How about if I just go through the list on the spot? You feel me? So like, I'm gonna go through it with you guys. So I can't promise how long this is gonna take. But for those of y'all who like these videos, I hope y'all enjoy it. Make sure y'all give this video a like. Make sure y'all comment y'all list or y'all favorite Spider-Man movie. Subscribe if you're new. And let's have some fun, man. This channel, moving forward, this channel is gonna be all about fun. It's gonna be all about fun. It's not gonna be about following trends. It's not gonna be about doing stupid stuff. It's not gonna be about like just doing things that like other people is doing, but like, I don't actually like. No, everything's gonna be about fun on this channel. Everything I like, everything I watch, everything I keep up with, and everything that y'all want to see, like y'all suggest something, y'all ask for something, I will deliver it, man. That's the whole purpose of Tavon Knows. Tavon Knows is just me making content on things I enjoy. A shout out to Watch Mojo. Watch Mojo is a big inspiration to this channel. Watch Mojo showed me that you can build a community around yourself while talking about different things that you enjoy. And not just Watch Mojo, like What Culture, shout out to them. And there's more channels just like them. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So there are 10 Spider-Man movies altogether out of the major four: Miles, Tobey, Tom, and Andrew. There are 10 Spider-Man movies, and right off the bat, I got my phone right here. So this is where like I'm gonna keep up with my list. Right off the bat, Spider-Man 2. My bad. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. We put in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 at 10 right off the bat. Now, like to all my Andrew Garfield Spider-Man fans, it's not like I dislike his movies. That's not the case. That sauce good as fuck. It's not like I dislike his movies. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 is literally one of my favorite Spider-Man movies. I went back to that movie so many times, so I promise you I'm not a hater. But one thing that like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 gave us that most of the other Spider-Man movies didn't give us, and that's a very disappointing ending. Seeing Peter try to catch Gwen and fail, I get that was supposed to be, a sad moment, and that's what all Spider-Man movies have. All Spider-Man movies have sad moments, but the sad moments usually come from the beginning or the middle of the movie, and then you eventually see Peter have a happy ending some type of way. Rather that's winning the girl, saving the world, rather that's, like it's multiple different things. And don't get me wrong, this is not the only Spider-Man movie that has a sad ending, but because you got like No Way Home, that had a sad ending, but we're gonna get into that later. What made the Amazing Spider-Man 2 disappointing was that despite it being a disappointing ending, the movie as a whole didn't really make up for that. Because in my opinion, take like the last 15, 20 minutes out of the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Just take the last 20 minutes out. We're not counting endings. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 was just a better movie in my opinion. A better told movie. You got Peter, a confident Peter, by the way, a confident, cocky Peter. We're not used to seeing those type of Peters. That's another thing that made Andrew Spider-Man cool. He was different than all the other Peters. But anyway, you see a confident Peter have to try to balance the life of liking someone, carrying on responsibilities, and trying to be a superhero for the first time. While he's doing all that, the girl that he's dating has a father that don't even like Spider-Man. So it's just all that is just kind of cool to me. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was just kind of like underwhelming. Not trying to say the whole movie was boring, but it wasn't really anything to grab from it. You feel me? I guess the only cool thing is they had a better villain, in my opinion. But like other than that, so yeah, right off the bat, that's number 10. Number 9, I want to say Spider-Man Far From Home. Yeah. Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, here's a strong opinion that I'm pretty sure lots of Spider-Man fans is going to agree with. Between Tom Holland, Andrew, and Tobey, take out No Way Home. You take out No Way Home, right? Because that's a movie that involves all three of them. So it's kind of cheating. You take out No Way Home, most Spider-Man fans will say that Tom got the weakest movies. So now here comes Far From Home. And literally the whole movie is just based on Tom wanting to still be a teenager. He still want to finish school. He still want to have a girlfriend. He rather choose that over being a superhero. Which I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of selfish. For a Spider-Man, that is very, very selfish. So that's already one problem I had with it. Now, what was cool about it is MJ found out that Peter was Spider-Man inside that movie, so that was cool. But from us seeing a selfish Spider-Man and the villain being lame, the villain didn't even have superpowers. The villain was basically just a smart dude that held a grudge with Tony, so he used his tech to terrorize the city. You mean tell me Spider-Man is fighting that now? Just like just like the Amazing Spider-Man 2, Far From Home was also an underwhelming movie. So yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home is definitely number 9. At number 8, you know how I was saying that Tom Holland got the weakest movies? So if Far From Home is number 9, then that means right behind it at number 8, we're gonna put Homecoming. Because I ain't gonna lie. The only thing I liked about Homecoming was Tony's involvement inside the movie. Tony trying to be like a teacher slash a father figure to him. Literally, that was the only cool thing about the movie. Number 7. Now I ain't gonna lie. Every movie from here on out, like I said, it's 10 Spider-Man movies out, all the major characters, and them are the only 3 weak ones. So every movie from here on out is just good slash better inside its own way. So now the list gonna get hard. Number 7, I might have to say Spider-Man 3. Because for one, first of all, his relationship with MJ was toxic. And then when he got taken over by the little like Venom suit, yeah, lots and lots of memes came out of that movie. But like if you take away the memes, what do y'all really love about the movie? I mean, sure, seeing a Spider-Man, seeing a Spider-Man have attitude, you know, that's interesting. But I don't know. I feel like with these other Spider-Man movies that like, I will talk about as the video go on, it's gonna be multiple things to point out that I love me personally that I love about the movies. But the only thing I could really point out about this movie was that we saw a different side of Peter. That's it. I'm not saying the movie was boring, but it could have been better. Oh, shout out to Sandman. I forgot my nigga Sandman was cool too. Sandman was a good part of the movie. Seeing a villain that's not really acting like a villain, he's just doing what he's doing because of his daughter. That was a good touch. But like, other than that though, oh, don't get me started on the Eddie. That was the worst Eddie I've ever seen, bro. That was the worst Eddie I've ever seen. Seeing that version of Venom almost ruined the whole movie for me. I ain't gonna cap. But anyway, like I said, I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but it was definitely Toby's weakest movie. And if you ask most Toby fans that, I, I hope they agree with that. So Spider-Man 3. Now we at number 6. Number 6, right off the bat, is gonna be into the multiverse. Now, the reason why I say right off the bat, because I know that sounded like, damn, you trying to say that movie boring or something? I just want to throw out there, Miles Morales movies is goated so far. He's 2 for 2, and hopefully he's 3 for 3 when his next one come out. With that being said, what made the movie fun to watch is seeing a whole bunch of different Spider-Mans having to like interact with each other to try to save the Spideyverse. That was cool. And like I said, it's animated too, so it gives you a whole different feel. A lot of people really enjoyed the movie, and I can't really say many bad things about it. I feel like the movie was more like comedy relief. You had a lot of good things about the movie. Like I said, I have nothing bad to say about it. These are Spider-Man movies, by the way. I'm ranking Spider-Man movies. Most Spider-Man movies are good. So just because it got a low placement doesn't mean it's bad. But like I said, if you compare it to Miles Morales' other movie, Across the Multiverse, Miles Morales having to fight other Spider-Mans just to and having to face all his struggles. Like, you know what? I ain't even gonna talk across the multiverse yet. I ain't gonna talk about it yet. We ain't on it. But I'm just saying, like, if you compare them two movies, it is not a reach to say that Across the Multiverse was way better than Into the Multiverse. So with it being Miles' second best movie, the only thing I'll say about the movie why it wasn't as exciting to me as all the other movies, it's mainly just because of the story plot. That's literally it. The whole story of that movie was just, hello, this is the multiverse of Spider-Man. That's it. Not trying to dumb down the movie, but that was the biggest plot of it all. But yeah, Into the Multiverse, it wasn't a bad movie, but like I said, it was a good movie for what it was. But it wasn't top 5, because that's where we're at. I don't even know where to start. Because like the rest of these movies are kind of goated. I can't lie. You got Across the Multiverse, Miles' best movie. You got No Way Home, Tom Holland best movie. You got The Amazing Spider-Man 1, Andrew's best movie. And then you got Toby's two best movies, Spider-Man 1 and 2. You got everyone's best movie plus another movie by Toby. The fact that 2 Toby movies is top 5, that goes to show who's the best Spider-Man right there. I don't gotta say nothing else. Two of his movies top 5. I don't gotta say nothing else. It's literally hard because every movie is like good, man. I don't think I have a choice when I do this. I don't have a choice when I do this. At number 5, I have to put The Amazing Spider-Man. I have to. And I hate it because y'all just heard me say a few minutes ago, y'all just heard me say that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is my favorite Spider-Man. But that's because of his personality. But like I said, look at what The Amazing Spider-Man is competing with. It's competing with Tobey's Spider-Man 1 and 2, which is both equally great movies. It's competing with Across the Multiverse, a masterpiece. And it's competing with No Way Home. You can't blame me, y'all. I'm sorry, Andrew Garfield fans, I let y'all down. But at least it made the top 5. So I'm putting The Amazing Spider-Man at number 5. And like I said, I think I've already told y'all why it's higher than The Amazing Spider-Man 2 earlier. I just said that like it was like compared to The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, one was just a better made movie in my opinion. Now we at the top 4. Oh my God, it gets harder every time I put one down. Y'all are gonna hate me for this one. If some of you already liked the video, y'all are gonna take away that like once I put this one. And the reason why is because a lot of Spider-Man fans think that this is the best Spider-Man movie ever made. Number 4, I'm putting Spider-Man 1. I know. Y'all throwing tomatoes at me right now. Y'all ready to jump through the phone. Hear me out, man. Just hear me out for 1 second. Hear me out for 1 second, man. Just for 1 second. Now, why do I think 2 is better than 1? That's a simple ass, and I can go on to a whole paragraph, but I'm gonna name one example why I think it's better. A friend once told me, a movie is only as good as your main character and your main villain. A movie is only as good as your main character and your main villain, right? Now, oh, that's spicy. Why was that piece so spicy, but the rest wasn't? Damn, why is that one spicy? Hold on, y'all. In my opinion, Doc Ock is one of the best Spider-Mans, in my opinion at least. He's one of the best Spider-Man villains ever written. Just like everything about him. Him being a villain, but him actually wanting to do something to better the world. His own technology making him bad. He don't actually want to be bad, but he's listening to his own tech. And it goes deeper. And that's why I liked it 2 more than 1. Now, don't get me wrong. Green Goblin is cool and all. Hell, he's the most popular out of and the most important out of all the Spider-Man villains. He's like Doc Ock. I mean, not Doc Ock. Green Goblin is like the Joker to Batman. It's like the Thon to Flash, and the list goes on and on. But Doc Ock is a very, very like appreciated villain, and I feel like he played a big part in what made the movie so great, in my opinion. We are now at our top three. We are at our top three, and the reason why I just got so excited is because whew, all three of these Spider-Man movies are goated. Man, we are now in our top three. So far, like I want y'all to comment out of 4 through 10, do y'all agree with the list so far? Because now we are in our top three, the big three. I'm pretty sure y'all heard that saying in every single sport, catalog, movie, whatever. There's always gonna be a big three in everything. This is the big three out of the Spider-Man movies. At number 3, I'm putting No Way Home. This should have, I'm using the word should have. This should have been the most perfect Spider-Man movie ever. There's a few things stopping it from being perfect. For one, I feel like all the major Spider-Man villains didn't have like enough screen time. It felt mainly just about Doc Ock and Green Goblin. It felt like a redemption story for Doc Ock, and it felt like they made Green Goblin the main villain. If you are gonna do a Spider-Man movie crossover with all the villains, they all should feel equally as big. 2, they teased us with Venom. This movie was still great without Venom. This movie did not need Venom to be great, but Venom being in there would have added on to it. We all know that. The fact that Venom spent his entire time sitting inside a bar telling a story, Marvel, you know you wrong. So like, it's not that the movie was bad. It's just we could have seen more involvement with the crossover. Like I said, this is a crossover Spider-Man. It doesn't get bigger than this. And like even with the ending, it gave us one of the few things that most Spider-Man movies don't get, and that's a sad ending. The fact that Tom had to say goodbye to all his friends and to everyone that knows him just to save the world, that's a true courage. And also, since we talking about No Way Home, let's go ahead and address it, because I'm tired of this. You got people out there that hated Spider-Man versus Doctor Strange. They say it made no sense. Why don't it make sense? Oh, because he's a sorcerer supreme. He ain't supposed to lose to Spider-Man. He's one of the smartest characters in Marvel. Is it that hard to accept that he just figured out how it worked by paying attention? He figured out how the dimension worked. The dimension travels as a pattern. He figured out the pattern and he used that against Doctor Strange. Did they nerf Doctor Strange to make Spider-Man look good? Yes. But it's not like the fight didn't make sense. So I just wanted to address that. For all you hating on that fight, you're being a crybaby. But the movie gave you everything. It gave you sad, emotional moments like Aunt May dying. It gave you funny moments. It gave you good fights. You got to see all your favorite past villains and characters together. And it told a good story. The story was all about just being a better man. From start to finish, that was the story. From Aunt May trying to teach Peter on how to trust and forgive, to Peter having to learn how to be more responsible through Doctor Strange, to even at the end where we saw Peter trying to kill, when we saw Tom trying to kill Green Goblin and Toby had to stop him. The whole entire movie was just teaching Tom how to be mature, how to be a better, not just be a better Peter, but be a better Spider-Man. It told such a great story and it gave us everything. All right, number 2, Across the Multiverse. So Across the Multiverse got most of the same points as to why I put No Way Home at 3. Because across the multiverse, basically everything I just said about Tom can also go to Miles. Teaching Miles how to be a better person, how to take on the roles of Spider-Man, and having to teach Miles that, yo, we are Spider-Mans. Every Spider-Man is supposed to go through tragic. But obviously Miles didn't know that. Miles is doing everything he can to try to save his family. And it's like, that's not your role. You feel me? I know it's hard, but that's just something that you have to accept. Cause Miles want this perfect world where Miles get to have the girlfriend. He get to be the superhero. He get to save his father. And now he get to meet other Spider-Mans. And everything will be peachy, yay. But that's not how it works. So the story of Across the Multiverse is pretty much similar to No Way Home. Even with the whole multiverses coming together, he's meeting all these other different Spider-Mans again. It's basically like a cartoon version of No Way Home. Because there was only one difference between them. We didn't see a Spider-Man turn bad and go up against Peter. The fact that the leader of all the Spider-Mans completely hate Miles and basically shit on him because he ain't supposed to be there, that ends up being his biggest villain. Not the Polka Dot Man. The Polka Dot Man, that's just a secondary villain. Forget him. He's not relevant. But Peter versus Miles, it just added something different. It just added something different. And to me, that's why that movie is cooler than No Way Home. But both of them is goated. And with that being said, the best Spider-Man movie ever is Spider-Man 2. Now, I know I had 1,000 good things to say about No Way Home and 1,000 good things to say about Across the Multiverse. And I know earlier the main thing I praised about Spider-Man 2 was just the villain, and that's Doc Ock, which is funny because Doc Ock is also in No Way Home. So it's like, can you blame me? But I just feel like Spider-Man 2 told a deeper story. I feel like the similarities of Across the Multiverse and No Way Home was to teach Peter how to be more responsible, or teach Peter and Miles how to be more responsible, and to teach them how to be not just better people, but better Spider-Mans. But I feel like Spider-Man 2 told kind of a deeper story. For Spider-Man 2, he had to balance his struggles of not just trying to have a relationship while being a superhero. That's the hardest thing. But like I said, everything I basically said about Peter and No Way Home, I think it's kind of reversed. And that's what makes Spider-Man 2 cool. Because you got the villain having to learn how to be a better person. Because the villain, Doc Ock, kind of reminds me of Thanos, where you're doing something out of what you think is good intentions, but is actually wrong. The only difference between him and Thanos is Thanos not being controlled. Doc Ock was being controlled by his machine. The more he listened to his machine, the more evil he got. So yes, it was Peter fighting a villain, but the villain wasn't really a villain. And it took him to the very end to realize that. And not just that. Yes, the best thing about Spider-Man 2 was Doc Ock. It was the villain. But it was also just trying to, like Peter, as always, trying to balance how to have a girlfriend while taking on the responsibilities of Spider-Man. And he had to learn to not let being Spider-Man get to his head. Because one scene that we all remember that scene where Spider-Man kissed that fan, and Mary Jane was just like, oh, hell nah. So it's like, you can't let Spider-Man get to you. I feel like the whole movie was just about personal growth for not just Peter, but for also Doc Ock. And seeing growth between a villain and the main character, you don't see that often. You don't really see that. The overall movie was good. It had good scenes. One of my favorite scenes, this is probably my favorite scene from the whole movie. My favorite scene from Spider-Man 2 was when Peter went to go save everyone on the train. And it took all his might to do it. And then when they dragged Peter back in and they took off his mask and they saw that like he was just a kid, you saw how scared Peter got. Because Peter was always like, I think Peter always felt like, what if people knew like who I was? If people knew like who I was, like was that going to define me or something? Like was that going to make people look at me differently? And then when they handed him back the mask, I really loved that scene because it just goes to show that even when people see exactly like who you are, they're still going to support you Just because they see you as this teenager doesn't mean that they're not gonna have hope. They're not gonna see you as a hero. So that scene touched me. And then when Doc Ock came and then they all stood up for him. Oh. I think the biggest thing that movie was trying to tell you is that like at the end of the day, as long as you stand up for what you think is right, that's what's gonna make you a better person. The citizens didn't have to put their life on the line for Spider-Man, but they did it. They did it because they knew like it was right. They knew they was gonna get killed, but they still did it because it was right. Mary Jane knew that dating Spider-Man was gonna be a struggle. She wanted to walk away from it, but she was still with him because she finally understood that Peter, yes, you are being a hero, and you're probably choosing being a hero is more important than being with me. But she understood that. Because what does Uncle Ben say? With great power comes great. I'm gonna let y'all finish that. So yeah. Like, I'm not just putting this movie as number one because of Doc Ock. I'm putting it as number one because I feel like the movie as a whole just told a great story about everyone having to learn how to just be a better person by making selfless decisions. Mary Jane could have had said, you know, Peter, I can't do this. I can't make you choose between me and being a superhero. It's over. But she did. She stayed his girlfriend. Well, until Spider-Man 3 came. But but yeah, Spider-Man 2 was just a beautiful movie. It may have not been as action-packed and as crazy as Across the Multiverse and No Way Home, but the fact that it was still a great movie without having to need 1,000 villains, without having to have 1,000 fight scenes where you seeing Peter get slammed through multiple floors, the fact that it was just a great movie for being a singular Spider-Man movie with just one villain, one girlfriend, like, the movie not only gave you everything, but it didn't have to give you all the over-the-top stuff to be a great Spider-Man movie. So that is why I put Spider-Man 2 at number one. And I want y'all to do 3 things for me. I want y'all to first like this video. I want y'all to comment down if y'all agree with the list, and comment down below if y'all want to see me do more videos like this. And like I said, we finna have fun on this channel. So make sure y'all turn on post notifications. And like I said, this channel is inspired by What Culture, Watch Mojo, all the multiple type of pop culture content channels y'all see. That's what this channel gonna be about. So if y'all like channels like this, subscribe and just tell me what you want to do next, man. I watch a lot of shit, you name it. This been fun, and I'm gonna see y'all outside the next one. Peace.